I've been waiting at least 15 minutes. What is going on here? There's no crew here.
Are you the manager, sir? You know, we have a swim meet that we have to do, sir. Are you the manager?
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Service is really bad. Sir?
Where's everybody?
Are you the manager, sir? Sir, we'd like this help over here, please.
Where is everybody?
We have been waiting here forever. We have a swim meet to go to. We only have 15.
Can we get some service
We
here?
were here first. Thank you.
Correct.
One pop and half a lot.
I gotta get people in here quick. Okay. I gotta get some people in here. I gotta hire someone now.
Like it to go.
I'm gonna hire whoever passes that test. What test? I don't have a test. Yes, I do. Okay, breathe. Congratulations. You're hired.
Hired? But dude, I just wanted fries.
No! Did I ever tell you about this nightmare that I had a few weeks ago? There were customers everywhere. I was the only one here. People were screaming for service. It was crazy. I kept yelling, I've got to hire somebody. But you know what's weird, Lydia?
What?
The next day, you sent me this quality hiring stuff. I studied the whole process, and it's already made a huge difference in our hiring.
Actually, to make it
Quality hiring is efficient and consistent, and it really helps me identify quality crew members. Quality hiring looks at 4 competencies which identify the type of performance we want from crew members. The first competency is they strive to satisfy customers. The second is they take initiative and ownership, which I think is great. Third, they consistently follow procedures and adhere to standards. And fourth, they demonstrate and promote teamwork. And you know something? I agree with every one of these competencies. But what I really liked was the quality hiring provides 5 tools that help in the selection process. Quality hiring was developed based on the 4 competencies I just mentioned. The tools are the realistic job preview and application, the what-if situation form, the structured interview guide, the on-the-job evaluation, and finally, the reference check.
I'm glad you're already using it and finding it's making a difference.
Well, yeah, it has. I mean, it's a simple process, and it helps me identify quality applicants efficiently and consistently.
That's great. You know as well as anybody, our success depends on the people who work here, delivering quality products and service. When we hire competent people, there's less supervision for you, less turnover, reduced training time, and increased productivity. Our customers are happier, our jobs get a little easier, and we're more profitable. So, obviously, hiring the right people is really important. Tell me more about using quality hiring.
Well, one nice thing is that it lets me gather the type and amount of information that I need, but I can do it faster. When Erica applied for the job, she used the realistic job preview and application. Remember the job preview in the old process? Well, this one puts the focus on realistic. It showed Erica a balanced, real view of what the job is and what our expectations are. She got a look at examples of people working on the job, like seeing someone mopping the floor. When she saw the photo, she realized that one day she might have to do that task. When Erica was done looking at the realistic job preview, she was still interested in the job. So she completed the application form. After reviewing her application, I gave her the what-if situation form, which asks questions about potential job situations. Erica had to figure out whether the responses presented on the form seemed okay or not okay. While Erica worked, I checked the references she had provided on the application.
You are working at the front counter and a customer orders French fries. You notice that the French fries that are ready seem cold and limp. The crew member who is making fries tells you that those fries are too old to serve, but the fresh batch won't be done for several minutes. Would it be acceptable for you to serve the customer the fries that are done so the customer won't have to wait? tell the customer he can have the old ones right away or wait for fresh ones. Now, tell the customer that you want to be sure the fries are fresh, so you will bring them out when they are ready. Now, have the customer stand off to the side and give him the fresh fries when they are ready.
Did you notice that the information in this what-if situations form is the type of information we used to gather in the interview?
Yeah, I did. And that's one of the biggest advantages of the system. It shifts the responsibility for gathering information away from us managers to the applicants. It's consistent with prepared questions, so it not only helps make accurate decisions, it's more efficient.
Did you use the template to assess Erica's responses?
I sure did. It's quick. If the applicant's evaluation is real low, then I conduct a courtesy interview and say, thanks for your time. I mean, I still want to keep them as customers. If the applicants do well, then I move on to the next part of quality hiring, the structured interview.
So, now you've got interested job applicants with the realistic view of the job, and you know whether they'll be able to make the right decision in common McDonald's situations. Now that's a real advantage. How did the structured interview work for you?
I used it with Erica and it worked. I used it again in the selection process of another applicant, James. The structured interview focuses on the applicant's past behavior. And since that's a great predictor of future behavior, it kind of gave me a glimpse at how both applicants might perform in the future. After we chatted a bit and James seemed relaxed, I told him I was going to ask some questions and take notes. And I encouraged him to answer openly. I mentioned that he'd have an opportunity to ask questions later. Central High, huh?
Yep.
Wow, that's great. So, James, tell me about a time when you noticed that a stranger was in need of assistance.
Well, I helped this guy.
Okay, describe the situation.
Well, this guy from my neighborhood. I don't know him, but I've seen him around. Well, his car wouldn't start.
Okay, what did you do?
Well, I was on my way to school, and I saw that he was having trouble. So I kind of know a lot about cars, and I decided to help him fix the problem.
Okay, and what was the outcome?
Well, I got the car started. He was real grateful that we got it started, and I showed him how to get around the problem, you know, in the future. And he gave me a couple bucks.
I continued the interview with James, using the follow-up probes and taking notes as I went along. At first, he had a little difficulty answering my questions, but as I continued, he began to provide more information. I made sure that I controlled the pace and kept it focused. That way, the interview really only took about 10 minutes. I made sure that I got as much information as possible and didn't ask any questions that could reflect a bias or seem discriminatory, like are you married or do you have a car? Sticking to the interview guide kept me on track so I'd avoid questions like these. The structured interview not only helped me make a hiring decision, it also gave me the opportunity to project a positive image about McDonald's. That's important, because we want to keep them as customers even if we don't hire them as employees. I had already checked James's references, and with the help of the quality hiring tools, I decided that he would be a strong crew member. Quality hiring provides suggestions about conducting an interview, like making sure you aren't interrupted, reviewing the interview questions and crew member competencies before the applicant arrived, and being familiar with the interview evaluation sheet. They all help me look good and professional, and so they help McDonald's look good too.
Sounds like James' interview went real well. How did Erica do?
She did real well. I'll tell you how I rated the interview in a sec, but one thing I could have done if she didn't do so well was bring her in for an on-the-job evaluation. I would do that if an applicant's references were okay, but I really wasn't sure if I wanted to hire them. I could pay them to come in for a 4-hour shift, train them, and then observe how they do. But Erica did great. So after I interviewed her, I asked her to excuse me for a minute, and I stepped away and rated her on each competency. There's a scale included called the bar scale that makes it easy. The scale lists specific behaviors that correspond to numbers, so I know exactly what the numbers mean, and this makes it easier to do the ratings. When I finished, I studied her results and decided that based on her application, her what-if situations, the structured interview, and her references, I expected that she would become a successful crew member. Erica, based on the information we've gathered, I think you'd make a great addition to our team. So I'd like to offer you the job.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Have a nice day and enjoy your meal.
Thank you.
Enjoy your meal.
So, you sold on quality hiring.
Yeah, I am. It really makes a difference. Turnover is down, productivity is up, training time is reduced. This is exactly the type of atmosphere we've been striving for. I'm confident that we can quickly and consistently identify strong candidates like Erica and James. They're doing great. And I haven't had a nightmare in months.